Hello, this is Brady with NC4. In this video we will go over the users area and show some use cases from a Sultra Edge admin perspective and from a Sultra Edge user perspective. To access users we need to go to Settings and Users. When we first get to the users page we see options to add users, download users list via CSV file, filter users, see the username, name, email, organization, date joined or date added to Sultra Edge, and the ability to mark active or inactive, locked and unlocked. Let's create a user and go over each step. Adding a user is going to be a Sultra Edge admin task or super user task. Super users are other users with administrator rights. We'll show the creation of super users in a separate video. To add a new user, select Add and populate the fields. And we'll select the blue Add button. The next screen is the user's profile page. The profile page is broken up into three areas: Identity, Security, and Access. Identity allows you to edit the full name, user's email, and add a description of the user. We can say, Bob is a good user. It also gives you the ability to add a user to an organization. We've created some test organizations here. If I wanted to add Bob to one of these organizations, I would simply select it and update. Organizations allow you to organize users on a system. This is important for those using Sultra Edge as a server. The next area of the profile is Security. We'll select Security. Security allows you to reset a user's password. You can input the password, verify it, and select Change Password, and that will reset it for the user. It also gives you the ability to create a certificate by selecting this Create Certificate button. This is only valid if you are using two-way authentication. It also gives you some information on recent failed login attempts. You may be wondering, what password complexity does Sultra Edge require? We can simply find this on our website, sultra.com. We'll type this in. We'll go to our documentation. And we'll scroll down and we have password requirements right here. So on this URL you can see our password requirements or our password complexity requirements. Access is the last area of the user's profile and one of the most important areas. The general area of access allows you to dictate what level of rights you want to give your user by selecting Staff Member right here. If the user is allowed to taxi inbox, if the user is allowed to build sticks objects on your appliance, and another option to lock or unlock a locked user. What is staff member? We can easily find the information of a staff user or staff member by viewing our user's documentation page. So we are at our documentation and the user section, and we see here staff member. These bullet points state what a staff member's access is on your appliance. TLP will state what TLP level the user is able to see. This means if you choose green, the user will only see data that is green or below. So green, white, and none. This affects all data on the system for the user. So on dashboard, the user will only see stats of data in their TLP level. This also affects feeds. Feeds that are created on your appliance, the user will only see data green and below. The last area on access is Authorized Taxi Inbox Namespaces. Authorized Taxi Inbox Namespaces is a way for administrators to restrict data based on namespace that a user can upload or inbox. For instance, if the admin wanted to allow the user to only upload or inbox data from testing.com, let's remove the wildcard and we'll type in testing.com. the user could not inbox or upload data from any other namespace. Only this namespace here, http://testing.com, would be authorized for this user. Let's go back over to the main users page and discuss some use cases. What is one thing all sysadmins deal with daily? A common acronym is MACD, Move, Add, Change, Delete. Solr Edge does not handle user accounts the exact same way as other systems since there is data associated to users. Let's look at the user options with Solr Edge. Let's look at the first one, Move. If the Solr Edge appliance is used in an organization, a user can be moved from one organization to another depending on how you're using organizations. This is done by clicking on the user to access the user's profile and choosing a new org in the organization area. So let's use our new user Bob here. Let's go back quickly though, because we see that Bob does not have an organization here. Select Bob in the identity area. Let's go to organization and let's just choose default company. We'll update the organization, go back to users, and we see that Bob now has an organization of default company. Add was covered previously, so we'll just go ahead and jump over to change. Change in a typical sysadmin world could be a change of permissions or account type. With Solr Edge, you have access controls which dictate what your users can see and do. Do we make them a staff member to have a higher level of rights? Allow them to tax the inbox? Allow them to build objects in this appliance? Do they just have TLP green access or TLP red access? So let's go to Bob, and let's go to Access, and again here's our options. Staff member, allow taxi inbox, allow building sticks objects, in our traffic light protocol. Also, authorize taxi inbox namespaces. Do we want them to inbox or upload objects from any namespace, leaving the wildcard? Or do we want to remove that and input something like testing.com? So only data with the namespace of testing.com will be inboxed or uploaded. Data restriction. Data restriction is supremely important to set properly. You don't want leakage occurring. It is best practice to have a plan to manage users, which encompasses TLP level. Let's use a user that has only green access. We'll first look at the dashboard with admin rights, so all TLP data is shown, and we'll note the counts. Then we'll log in using a user with just TLP green and look at the counts. Since we're on the users page, let's verify our green only access user. Let's see, we have green user here. We'll open up user 2. We'll confirm I have the description written as TLP green only. Confirm access, TLP green. So let's log out of that. Actually, before we log out, let's look at dashboard. And we see 1538 for indicators, 1628 for observables, and we have campaigns for 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 all the way down. Let's screenshot these and we'll bring this back up later on. Now let's log out as admin and log in as user 2. Alright, here's user 2. First off, 1531, 1619, and 0 for campaigns, courses of action, threat actors, exploit targets, all the way down, which we know we had at least 1 for all of those. So let's bring up our screenshot. Here's our screenshot. This is where we were, 1538 with admin, 1531 with user 2 with TLP green only, 1628, 1619, as we see 4, 1, 1, 1, 1 all the way down, and 0. So we see TLP affects the dashboard, what objects are available to be seen. So we'll log back out as user 2, log back in as admin, and let's look at this from a user's feeds perspective. So let's go over to publish, and we have a feed here called video, made for this video. Let's look at the first page of it. We have none amber, none white. Let's go all the way to the very end. We have green, white, and amber. So we know in page 289 and page 1, we have a lot of amber data here. We'll use our same green user. We'll log out, log in as user 2. Go to publish, and we can see system. If you have not viewed our published video, our in-depth published video, which explains the differences between a user feed and a system feed, please take the time to do so. TLP does affect what objects are seen in feeds. However, a system feed is seen by all users, and a user's feed is not. So that's why we see difference in configured feeds from the admin view. But let's go ahead and click on video. Open this up. First page, what are we missing? All the amber data. We see none in white. All the way to the end, we see white and green. So you see the feed does contain other data. However, the TLP level is restricting what objects are seen for user 2. Back at our users page, let's discuss filtering. Those using Sultra Edge as a server would have a lot of user accounts. The easy way to manage that is to filter through users. We have the option of filtering by username, name, email, organization. So let's take a look at, we have the example here for org. We type in org:. Let's see, we have organizations called Default Company, the Firm, and Foundation for Law and Government. Let's just type in DE for Default Company. And as you see, it filters it out. You don't have to type the entirety of the organization name. Let's type in TH for the, and as you see, we get the organization, the firm, showing. Let's take a look at usernames. We've got user 1, 2, 3, and 4 on purpose created this way so we can show the filtering option a little bit easier. Let's say we want to filter out everyone besides the ones that have user in the username. There we go. Let's say we have a couple of, let's look at email. .me right here, .org, .com, .net. We want to see only the .mes. Type in .me. We want to see only the .coms. The .coms. The .nets. The .nets. So it's pretty easy to filter and modify based on the filtering ability in the users app. So we're back to our users page, and the last thing we want to discuss is downloading a users list to a CSV file. At times you've got a large users list, you need to download it, you need to email this thing around. How do you do it? Pretty simple. Go to this CSV button here. This will download it. We'll show this. We will open this. And let's just do this here. Expand everything so it can be seen. And this is what you get. A user ID, login, name, organization, email, roles, and if deleted, if we scroll over, we can see last logged in information.